If you're trying to decide where to stay on your Disney vacation, keep watching. We'll tell you exactly what you need to know. Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Jen. We've been going to Disney since we were little girls with our dad. And now, as adults, we're sharing all of our dad's secrets with you.
If you're planning a Disney World trip, one of the biggest decisions you're going to make, even before you book tickets, is where you're staying. This is one of those decisions that impacts everything. Your budget, your daily schedule, how tired you feel, and honestly, how magical your trip feels overall.
Yeah, because where you stay is not just where you sleep at Disney. It affects how you get to the parks, how early you can get into the parks, how easy it is to take breaks, what your mornings look like. It really shapes your entire experience.
So today, we're breaking down staying on-site at a Disney resort versus staying off-site somewhere nearby. We're going to walk through the pros, the cons, and how to actually decide what's right for your specific family.
Because it's different for every single family. We've done it both ways. When we were kids, we would often stay off-site because budget was a concern. Now as adults, we love staying on-site. On-site is our preference, and we'll explain why, but we'll also walk through when off-site might make more sense for you.
At the most basic level, this decision usually comes down to two things: budget and convenience. If budget is your top priority, off-site is almost always going to give you more for your money. More space, lower nightly rates, and more flexibility with food, which takes up a big part of your budget.
Yeah, but if convenience is your top priority, meaning you want things to feel easier, more seamless, less stressful, then staying on-site is where Disney really stands out. And for most families, both of these things matter, which is why this decision can feel really tricky.
It can. So let's start with off-site because there are definitely some strong advantages. The biggest one is space for your money. Off-site, you can get a condo or rental home with multiple bedrooms, a full kitchen, and more room to spread out, sometimes for less than a Disney hotel.
Yeah, and that can make a huge difference, especially with kids. Having separate spaces, a place to relax at night, or just not all be in the same one room at the end of a long day can be so nice and really helpful.
Right. Food is another big advantage. When you're off-site, you can grocery shop, cook meals, pack snacks, or eat at restaurants outside of Disney, which will be way cheaper.
Yeah, which gives you more control over your budget because Disney dining can add up super quick.
Oh, it's crazy. Offsite also gives you more flexibility. If you're planning to do other things in Orlando, like Universal, a pool day, or just taking a break from the parks, it can be easier to do that when you're staying offsite than when you're staying at a Disney hotel.
Yeah, and some families just really like having that separation from Disney at the end of the day. It can feel quieter and a little bit more low-key.
With offsite, there are a few things you'll want to plan for. Mostly transportation. Some offsite hotels offer shuttles from the hotel to the Disney parks, but they usually run on set schedules and may not line up exactly with your park plans. You often also have to reserve those in advance.
Yeah, which can be just another thing to remember to do. So many people oftentimes will rent a car or use rideshare, which again adds cost and also time to your day.
You'll be driving to the parks, parking, then taking transportation from the parking lot to the park entrance.
It's completely doable, but it just adds extra steps into your day that you just need to factor in.
So now let's talk about staying on-site because this is what we personally choose every time. For us, the biggest benefit is how simple everything feels.
Yeah, Disney transportation, it's completely built in. Buses, Skyliner, boats, and sometimes the monorail, depending on your resort, so you don't have to think about driving or parking.
You just get where you need to go using the system that's already set up, conveniently located at your hotel.
Yeah. Another big benefit is early park entry.
Huge.
Disney resort guests can enter the parks 30 minutes earlier than off-site guests, which can help you get more done in that first part of the day, which makes a huge difference.
Massive.
Like, huge.
Yeah. And then there's just the overall experience. When you stay on site, you're fully in the Disney environment, which we love. From the hotel to the transportation to the parks, you're just fully immersed.
Yeah, it just feels so seamless and everything is designed to work together.
Now, there are definitely downsides to staying on site. The biggest one is obviously cost. Disney resorts are typically more expensive and you're often getting less space compared to off-site hotel options.
Yeah, the rooms are usually smaller and you typically won't have things like full kitchens.
Right. Food is also much more limited and generally more expensive when you're staying on Disney property.
So if budget is your top priority, this is where Onsite can feel like a bigger commitment.
It really can. Okay, let's make this really practical because I think this is where it clicks for people and when you're trying to decide what works for your family. Let's say you have a park day planned and rope drop when the park opens is at 9 a.m. We're going to walk through what that morning could realistically look like staying on site versus off site.
Okay, we're going to start with Offsite.
Okay.
Your morning usually starts earlier. If you want to be at the park before rope drop, you're getting everyone ready out the door and into the car with enough time to drive to Disney property, go through parking, and then take transportation from the parking lot to the park entrance.
Depending on traffic, parking, and how far away your hotel is, and which park you're going to, that process can take around 30 minutes to an hour from when you leave your hotel till you reach the front of the park. Keep in mind, once you arrive at Magic Kingdom specifically, once you park, you will then need to walk up to 15 minutes to a monorail or a boat to get to the park entrance. So most families staying off-site are leaving their hotel at 8 a.m. to make a 9 a.m. rope drop.
Okay, now let's talk about the same morning, but you're staying on site. You're still getting up early, but instead of driving, you're heading to Disney transportation, like the bus, the Skyliner, the boat, the monorail, things we talked about earlier, depending on what resort you're staying at.
Transportation from any Disney hotel to any park can be as short as 5 minutes. You can even walk to some of the parks.
Yeah.
Or as long as 30 minutes.
And Disney resort guests also get early park entry, which again, usually starts about 30 minutes before official park opening. So in this example, you could be leaving your hotel at 8 and entering the park around 8:30 instead of 9.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
That means you're not just arriving earlier, you're actually inside the park earlier, which can change how much you can get done at the start of your day.
Okay, now let's look at the middle of the day. You're staying on site and you want to take a break. It's fairly easy to leave the park, go back to your hotel, rest a little bit, and then return a little later.
If you're off-site, the same break is still possible, it just takes more time in planning. You're leaving the park, getting to your car, driving back, and then repeating that process to return. It's much harder at Magic Kingdom than the other parks.
Yeah, and because of that, some families staying off-site choose to stay in the park the whole day instead of going back and forth.
Then we come to the end of the night. After fireworks or a full day, everyone is tired. If you're staying on site, you're heading to the Disney transportation right back to your resort.
Yep, and then if you're staying off site, you're walking back to your car, exiting the parking lot, and then driving back to your hotel.
So when you look at the full day side by side, off site gives you more space and often lower cost.
And on site simplifies transportation and gives you earlier and easier access to the parks.
Seeing it laid out like this usually helps you decide what matters more for your family. Because like we said, every family is different and has different priorities. And there's no shame in whatever your family priorities are.
100%. So how do you actually decide? Okay, to recap, if your goal is to save money, have more space, and you're okay planning around transportation, offsite can be an amazing option.
But if your goal is to make your trip feel as smooth and simple as possible and you want that fully immersive Disney experience, staying on site is pretty hard to beat.
For us personally, we prioritize convenience and overall experience, so we choose to stay on site and adjust other parts of our budget to make that work.
But the best choice is always the one that fits your family, your priorities, and most importantly, your budget. We never recommend going into any sort of debt for a Disney vacation.
Absolutely not. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, you can have an amazing Disney trip. Either way, it just depends on what matters most to you.
If you want help choosing the best place to stay or planning your trip step by step, we have more videos in this series that will walk you through all of it. You are totally not alone, and it is very confusing to plan a trip.
And we'll link our full guide below so you can dive even deeper before you book.
Cheers to the magic.